Hi everybody, I'm Matt Brown, back with the rock series here on JamPlay.com. And in this lesson I'm going to show you some more kind of creative chord voicings. And I've heard them referred to before by guitarists like, I think I picked this idea up originally from Eric Johnson actually. And this is kind of interesting because Eric Johnson is a guitarist that I don't particularly care for, but he's a brilliant man, you know, and a great player. So, you know, with people like that, even if you don't necessarily, they're not your favorite or your cup of tea, you can still learn so much from them because they're just a, you know, a pool of knowledge of things that you can take away from them. So the idea is that basically we're going to be playing some shapes that are kind of traditional, like we're going to use our E-shaped bar chord. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take away the doubled root. So we're left with this sound instead of this thicker sound. So what that does is, A, it gives us a new sound to play around with. And it also, if you notice, it leaves the finger free so you can add in some counterpoint to the harmony as well. So I'm going to start off with a pretty basic example. It's an example in E Dorian. And basically what I'm doing here is it's a kind of a Hendrixy chord voicing. So basically what we have is an octave here, and then we've got the root note up top. So the third is doubled with the root note. So this chord that I picked up from Hendrix, there's a major version of it too. Like if I were to do a major chord, I've got this kind of shape with the octave and the root note. So these, you know, you might hear these in, like there's the famous Smashing Pumpkins song, Cherub Rock. So that's one example. The little idea that I came up with is a little E Dorian thing. It's got kind of a waltz feel. So what I'm doing here basically is I'm starting with this E minor chord, taking that down, adding in the 9 there, and that resolves nicely to this D chord. Then I'm taking that D chord and moving it down to an A. So the whole thing you get. So as you can tell, these voicings, they sound, it's like night and day if you compare them to your regular old bar chords. And it's got a really nice kind of open sound to it that works really well if you know, a vocalist is trying to fit a melody over top of it. Because you've got the key notes in there, you've got the root in the minor third, which gives you the sound of the chord. But since the fifth is omitted, it's got kind of this big, airy sound, so you've got a lot of space free to you know, add in a melody or something like that. So in the next scene I'll get after a couple more examples of this stuff. So in this scene I'm going to show you some excerpts from an original song that is a work in progress at the moment. It's something I've been working on the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so. But it involves some of these voicings that I was talking about. Like we're going to start here. I've got a capo at the 2nd fret. So this is the first voicing we're going to use. It's basically a G chord with the pinky finger taken away. I've got a really ugly kind of overdriven tone dialed in here. And it's played played with a waltz feel, kind of a sort of a trippy sort of a waltz. And so we're going to be adding some notes in here with the pinky. So at the end of the figure, we've got a bar of 2/4 instead of 3/4. Then we're going to switch to our E-shaped chord. In this key, it's technically an F-sharp chord. And we're going to play a similar type of rhythm and add in that flat 7 there. The 2/4 bar occurs in that little section too. And then we're back to the first part. And then the next part of the song doesn't really use these little voicings, but I'll play it anyway because it'll connect us to the next part that does. So it's so I'm basically taking these little third shapes and playing them against an A bass note. Going to an E. This is like our C-shaped chord, but I'm using it for an F-sharp chord. And then I'm leaving this string open here. And then coming to, I guess, an F-sharp 7 chord right here. So all together it sounds like this. The next part of the song, and I'll just play it. So then we come back around full circle to the first part. So what I'm doing here is I'm using, it's the A-shaped chord with the third string taken out. And then I'm taking that down to the minor version. Back to this version here. And I'm kind of embellishing it a little bit. So it sounds like this. To this minor chord here, adding in the suspension and coming up to a C, and then I'm adding in some counterpoint there. This last chord here is an A major, and I'm adding in the suspension. All right, so I'll play through that entire, I guess it's the chorus part of the song again, so you can hear how that all fits together. Back to the beginning again. So that's how the first half of the song goes. The whole song's only 3 parts. It's got the parts that I've shown you plus an additional part. So that's another example of how you can use these chords with the string omitted. If I mean, that sounds cool, but it doesn't have that open, nice kind of flavor that this has. So I'm Matt Brown. This has been another lesson in the rock series here on JamPlay. In the next lesson, we're going to shift gears back to lead guitar, now that we've covered rhythm for quite a few lessons now. So stay tuned, and we'll be back.